The United States is becoming more diverse every year, so why don't courts reflect that? State Supreme Courts wield enormous power. They decide criminal cases, rule on civil rights protections, and resolve conflicts. And they often have the final word on questions relating to state laws and state constitutions. But across the country, state Supreme Court justices are overwhelmingly white men. 18 states have no justices of color, including 12 states where people of color make up at least 20% of the population. And in 25 states, no women of color sit on the state Supreme Court. These gaps exist in part because the American legal field has long excluded underrepresented communities, and the effects of that still linger today. Women and people of color have more difficulty getting appointed for a variety of reasons, including lack of transparency over the selection process and limited professional networks, among other things. Private practice experience is also overrepresented on the bench. In fact, 83% of state high court justices have backgrounds in some form of private practice. In contrast, just 10% of justices have experience as a public defender and just 2% in civil legal services. That means that people with experience in key community-serving sectors are largely absent from the bench. That's why programs which aim to get more women and people of color appointed to state Supreme Courts are crucial. They help reduce barriers created by discrimination, bias, and wealth. These programs are legal and they work, but the Trump administration has been attacking them. But states are pushing back. For example, New Jersey, New Mexico, and New York have all reaffirmed their efforts to address underrepresentation and bias in their courts. And this year, there have been signs of progress. Alaska now has its first female majority court. Nebraska just swore in its first black justice, and Kentucky its first female black justice. Greater judicial diversity leads to fair decision-making. It reduces bias and inspires confidence in our justice system. That's why it's crucial for state Supreme Courts to better reflect the communities affected by their decisions. Click the link in our bio to learn more.